friends. If this is your first visit in our channel, we want to extend you a warm welcome and invite you to look at all our videos, and we are confident you will find something that you can like and use for your own purposes. If you have been here before but you have not subscribed, please subscribe. If it is your birthday, happy birthday. We're doing some a little bit of changes on the channel, but in general, on Sundays we have bigger projects. Normally there are builds, and on Wednesdays we have right now automotive projects and or tips and tricks to help you in your workshop. Today will be a little different. We are going to build something, not necessarily from scratch, depending on how it goes, but it's going to be about shop organization, right?
Yep.
Well, enjoy the episode. We have this, probably the last part of our garage that we are not been utilizing. So we are having a project to make this a more useful space. Now, when we start this process, I wanted this to be both a garage that I put my cars in and a workshop. And as we start generating more and more videos, we kind of, I don't want to say lost track of that, but it became difficult because we accumulated more equipment, more tools, and definitely we accumulated a lot of pieces of wood, a lot of scrap wood, right? When I say right, it's where you talk.
Right.
That's not what you say. You say yes.
Yes, indeed. Correct. We have a lot of scrap wood around here.
So the idea is for us to get back the functionality of a garage space and at the same time organize better. So we have two options for that. One is to go out and buy some plywood and build a cabinet of some sort, some organizational structure here. Or the other is to go and find a second-hand cabinet, some form of cabinet, right? And use it instead for our purposes. Now, we are going to do some research and decide what makes more sense for us money-wise. So our research conclusively showed us that we need to look for a cabinet before we buy wood, because if we can find a cabinet in the $20 to $30 range, it will actually be cheaper and definitely quicker than us building it from scratch. Don't you agree?
Yes.
So we're going to leave you here and we're going to go out and see if we can find a second-hand cabinet in a second-hand store or in the Habitat for Humanity or a place like that that can fit our needs. To our local restore in order to see if we can find something to use for our project. We price plywood in our 3 local stores, which is Lowe's, Home Depot, and Menards, right? And the cheapest, worst quality plywood would have cost us close to $40. And then for at least 2 seats, and I think we might need it 3. I don't know, what do you think?
Just kind of depends on how it worked out, but possibly, yeah.
So if we can find something for what you say, less than half of that price at the restore, of course we'll have to spend some time finishing it, and we understand that. But in that case, we are going to buy that at the restore, and that will be a great opportunity to show you how to take a slightly damaged or weathered piece of cabinetry and make it what you want to make it. Now clearly what we're looking for doesn't exist, so we'll probably end up what we think with probably something from a kitchen or a pantry or something.
Yeah, you just have to be creative and look at what's available and will it apply to your situation, even if it's not exactly what you had in mind.
So we are going to see you at the restore. Right, folks, we're just outside our local restore, and for $20 we purchased a used cabinet. You cannot see the whole thing, but it is in 2 pieces. We'll show it to you at the shop. And we purchased it for $20, which was actually half of the price, if not more than half, or less than half. I don't know what is the correct way here. Of just buying plywood and building it ourselves. Now we will have to do some work on it. It's not ready. We need to sand it and finish it and things like that. but definitely it would be much cheaper than if we've just bought the equipment, bought the material and build it ourselves. So that's another path that you can go, and that's the path we chose to go today for two reasons. Something that big would be a little hard to build in our shop, at least the way it is now, and we are in a hurry to organize the shop. So I think this is a great idea for what we're doing.
And the cool thing about this cabinet, for that price of $20, we got a bottom cabinet that has doors on it, and then the top part of the shelf actually is going to have like 4 or 5 shelves to it as well that will be open.
And do you want to talk about our bonus price?
Oh sure, bonus. I've been looking for some veneer to work on some experimental projects. This really nice roll of veneer was $1. So that'll be great for some interesting projects coming up.
Actually, technically it was free because they have a 10% military discount.
Oh, so you got it for free, huh?
Right. So
Even better.
the 10% for $1, you know, was
Yeah.
I didn't pay anything for it. Okay, so we are going to show you what we're going to do with next. We hope that this will be a one-day project. That's right. But we want to show you how sometimes when you start, it's easier to repair something than start from scratch. And by looking at those things, you see how things are built. So it's a very educational process.
Okay.
All right, we need to get back to the shop. Everything did fit in the back of our car, and now we are heading back to the house, and we are going to catch up with you at the shop. Right, friends, and we're back at the garage with our find, and here it is. And I might still build something here, but as you can see, we only paid $20 for this piece. Actually, there are 2 pieces, and it comes with
The metal tracks.
yeah, the metal tracks that allow you to put the shelves in any location you want, and actually it came with the shelves. Now, we're going to have to make some modifications. You might need to open the garage door and come here to show what we need to modify. I don't think you will be able to take it without it.
So there's a concrete lip there that keeps the shelf away from it, probably a good 6 inches. So what we probably need to do is cut into the base to be able to push the shelf and the cabinet itself back closer to the wall, so we can secure it there and it's not going to come down.
Okay. Because we work in a garage, there is a natural slope in our shop. So we are working on. We want this to be level. Actually, we don't want it to be in a slope. And as you can see, it is totally out of level the way it is now because of the garage floor. So we're going to use. Are you good?
Yep.
So we're going to use a piece of wood to seam it, and it's easier to do that here. And as you can see now, it is perfectly level. It's easier to do this here than with the big heavy furniture there, right?
Yes.
All right, so let's get moving in doing some work on this cabinet.
So we have the cabinet turned over upside down. We have made some marks over here. See if I can get those in focus. Focus is good. There we go. So while we had the cabinet upside down, or the correct way, the correct orientation, made a mark here, and then I used this piece of wood to mark the depth of our concrete. Then I used that wood to go in here and make the cross mark, which you can see there. That's the up mark, and then that's the cross mark there. And we did the same thing on the other side so that we know how deep we need to cut these pieces in. Now, that being said, we also see that there's a middle support here. And let me get that in focus. There we go. So our depth of the concrete piece is actually going to interfere here with this, so we're going to need to remove that.
And this.
Yep.
So we'll start with that.
Yeah, and this we might actually be able to move it in to help support it. But
Well,
we'll
yes,
have
I'm
to
going to use it
go
again.
from there.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Okay.
That's a pretty clean.
Yeah.
And even though it broke, that's just a basic triangle piece of wood.
Yeah, we'll
So
be able to replace that. That's not the problem.
We can definitely replace that. We have tons of scrap, as we mentioned earlier.
All right.
There we go.
This probably we can reuse actually.
Yeah.
Now will come the fun one.
There we go.
All right.
Okay, so now we have the supports removed. There are some staples there,
We're going to have to take care of them. Yeah.
which we will definitely take care of, and we'll come back in a bit.
I didn't do a very good job, did I? I need to cut a little more. Better.
Okay.
So now, the fun part. I don't know how much fun it will be, but
You're going to see if you can use the Japanese saw. Basically, he's trying to use the Japanese saw because he doesn't have clearance to get through with the jigsaw there.
of course I probably need to be where you are.
Yeah, so let's trade places. That might work.
Bank-handed sewing is not.
And it actually makes a much cleaner cut than the jigsaw.
What's happening?
I don't
Oh,
know.
we reached the
So what?
the lip of the saw.
There we go. And that little piece. So.
This is our go-to saw.
It is. It really is. It's amazing how frequently we use it. Okay, so now we need to flip the cabinet over and do the other side.
Right, and also keep in mind, guys, that even though we're still going to put a support here, this will be resting on the concrete. So we're not losing strength on the cabinet.
Right. So it'll actually be resting here on the concrete and
Right.
that'll be up against it.
What? And
So are you going to use the Japanese saw on the other side too?
I don't know.
Because I don't think you have the clearance there either.
I do.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic.
I love the Japanese saw, but I love speed more.
Wouldn't have guessed.
And again, you see that actually the Japanese saw sadly makes a cleaner cut, but you know.
Yeah, but if you're going for speed, then...
And now we need to turn it over to put all the.
Well, we need to make sure we have a good fit. Okay,
All right.
so we have our cabinet back in place. We're checking it for level now. We've put a couple pieces of wood under there to help shim it up. Pretty good on our level. And checking the fit of our cabinet here. Did a pretty decent job so that it is flush against that piece of concrete lip there. And there we have our wood with our shim. And then we'll be able to go ahead and put the top on and make sure that it's clearing. This is something else we had to take into account, was making sure that it's clearing the track and the door when it opens. So we had to put it a little bit further to the left than we had originally intended, but it still does provide clearance.
Okay, so we'll show you that, and then we'll probably take a trip to the hardware store and get some paint.
Okay, so using the same stick that I had already marked to show the depth of the concrete piece, we're marking some marks on our underside so we know where to place the supports to make sure that we're clearing that concrete piece. And now we're going to reinstall the support to make sure our cabinet is stable.
Alright friends, we applied the supports for strength, even though the way that the cabinet will sit now is going to be sitting on the concrete and it will really be very well supported. So everything is ready now. The things that we have to do next is do a little bit of sanding in areas like this that it is glossy. I don't think we need to do a lot of sanding, and then we're going to head out, buy some paint and come and paint it.
And again, just to reiterate, the way we mark these lines so that we would know where to make sure that our supports were behind that so it won't interfere with that concrete block that we're up against. Doing here is attaching our shim piece to the side that needs to be supported and raised up to make our cabinet level. And previously we had a few pieces of wood. We found one that actually is the same width as the other pieces combined, and coincidentally it is the same thickness as our cabinet floor here. So we're just going to attach it, makes it real nice and clean, and then we'll be able to flip it over and have a level cabinet. Here we are with our cabinet reinstalled, and there's our level. So we're pretty good, considering we've got an uneven floor and we're making adjustments. So, there we go.
We have done a light sanding on the surface of the cabinet, and we are going to try and finish it today. If we don't, we might have an episode 2, but we will give our best to try to finish it today. And we also plan to attach it to the wall just for security reasons. Do you have your keys to open the garage door to see if to show how close this is? When you do something like that, go up here again. When you do things like that, you need to be careful that you have clearance, and then details are important. So we will be back with you. Alright friends, we're back from the store. We bought for sale paint because really this is not important. It is not needing to match anything. This is the shop, and I do like it's a deep green color.
And this is what they call an oops can.
Right, so
it was at a discount.
And we bought some hardware to put the shelves up, and we are ready to finish this project. So stick around and we're going to show you a little bit of the process and then the finished project. This is the color we went with for the cabinet, and I'm kind of excited about that. So we start the painting with the shelves, and I kind of like that color. What do you think?
screen.
Yeah, that's nice. And we're not going to show you the whole painting process because that will be kind of boring, but you will see what a little bit of paint can do to totally change the look of a piece of furniture. Again, here the idea is to show you this was a project we did need do. What did I just say?
I have no idea what you said.
This was a project that we actually needed to do, and in the process we wanted to show you that starting with an existing piece of furniture, repairing it and making it something new. I guess the right term here will be repurposing.
Yeah.
It is a great way to get started with do-it-yourself projects and increase the utility of a living space. There is something totally coolly satisfying about just painting. No? So we've done one coat of paint, and of course this will require a second coat, but we wanted to show you how it stands right now. We are really pleased. For me, this is exactly what I was looking for, and I'm very pleased with how this came out. And I did remove the handles because I did not like them, and I will either make handles or purchase something that is more appropriate for what we're doing, but for now we just simply remove them. After a second hand of paint it will look great, but you're going to be able to see it in future episodes because we are running out of time today and I don't want this episode to get much longer. And here are the painted shelves, everything waiting to dry. Alright friend, thank you for sticking with us for another episode. As you can see behind me, the project is just about done. We probably will need to do another coat, I think. Don't you agree?
Yeah.
But you can see an amazing transformation of the piece of $20 furniture we bought this morning. And this is exactly what I was looking for the shop. It fits perfectly for our space. And this is a takeaway point, right?
Right.
If you do something like that, as much as I hate measuring, you have to measure. I mean, you need to know what you're looking for. Now, I think we did get lucky. I mean, we found exactly what we were looking for in the Habitat of Humanity Restore. This is an opportunity. Please support the Habitat for Humanity. It's a great organization that does a tremendous amount of good. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Everyone Can Do-It-Yourself projects with a garage woodworker and Elpida. And if you did, please smash that like button. Share, like, and subscribe if you have not done so. And stay with us to see more interesting episodes coming up. As I said at the beginning of the year, we're going to have a greater variety of what we're doing. And on Wednesday, I hope to have updates on the Jaguar. If I don't, then we are going to do some other project. It might even be showing you the absolutely finished project on this. But for now, from the Garage Woodworker and
Elpida.
have a great week, and we are going to see you on Wednesday.